Okay, beloveds, here be I. A couple of minutes late, getting my ducks in a row. I had to channel the technician to do my own technical wizardry, but it's all good. It's all in divine order, and I'm so happy to be here with you. And the subject of today is mastery of this now moment. Mastery of the now moment. How do we come into mastery of the now moment? And before I get fully into the subject matter, I want to offer a prayer and ask or invite the Creator to come in here with us in this sacred experience. So let me just offer that. In the name of the mystic Son, I am that I am, we call you Divine Creator to come forth into the inner sanctum of our being, or that is to let our awareness align with the fact that you are always in the inner sanctum of our being. We are here to come into a greater resonance with the mastering of the now moment. We thank you, Divine Creator, for assisting us in remembering the divine nature that we hold, that we are, that you have impregnated us with a qualitative essence, extension of your own being. And we're choosing to own that right now. We're choosing to recognize the amazing power that we hold by virtue of the oneness, of the wholeness of our connection. And so here we are. Peace and blessings to all you beloveds. I see you. I love you. I believe in you. And so we're going to talk about what are some of the things that we can do. We are in mastery of the now moment when we have the presence of mind and heart to send frequency to all of the scientists. We got some amazing scientists that are really on the case to come up with an antidote for this virus situation that we're dealing with, to come up with a cure and a solution. And so we want to recognize the fact that all of those scientists are our own self by extension. So right now, let's be in the mastery of this now moment by way of sending frequency to the scientists that are working on a solution, working on a cure, working on an antidote. We're also in mastery of the now moment when we are in the understanding that the solution is already here. The solution is not something that we need to obtain. The antidote is not something that we need to obtain, but rather to shift our attention to focus upon it. It's already there. And our attention that is shifted is not with these physical eyes. We want to shift the attention of our inner eye. Like when we imagine something. To imagine is to image within, to image in, to see from the inner resonance of who we are. For instance, if you were away from your home and I said to you, see the picture of your living room, you could see it in your mind's eye. You wouldn't be seeing it with your physical eyes, but your mind's eye would see it because you know the resonance of your living room, even if you are not at home. So we know the resonance of solution. We know the resonance of the antidote, of the cure, because we are descendants of Creator, descendants of God, Goddess Almighty. And so we want to allow ourselves to align with that divinity that exists within us, that has the answer to every problem, because the answer is the central core of every problem. You hear me say all the time that the center is the real estate of God, the real estate of love, the real estate of light. So there's a lot more I want to say. However, I want to activate this this piece that I wrote. Some of you may be aware of this one because I presented it. It's in another video that I did, which is called Virus Cancellation Meditation. And it's an amazing piece. The words are under that video, Virus Cancellation Meditation, and also they will ultimately be joined in this video. Now, because this is live on Instagram, the live is going to be up for 24 hours. However, I'm going to also upload it to Facebook. I'm going to save it and upload it to Facebook so that if you want to hear it again beyond the 24 hours, then it will be available to you. And it will also ultimately find its way onto YouTube. And the words will be there for you. But meanwhile, align your energy with me as I offer this frequency of virus cancellation meditation. I, the great we, am empowered by everything. I, the great we, allow, receive, and eternally send forth the formless and formed reality of our sacred immunity spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and societally. We are empowered by everything. I, the great we, am invincible, invisible, and invulnerable to COVID-19 virus, all viruses, fear, and negativity. We bless the chaos to make it right, reverse the tide, and free the light. This we do by heaven's might, to thus fulfill our divine birthright, that only wholeness fills our sight. We see what is needed, so our prayer will be heeded. We see it as though we've already succeeded. We are empowered by everything. We are empowered by everything. I, the great we, love and honor the divine that we are. This is the way of things eternal. I, the great we, am led by love, and love shall have its way with all, and the divine magic unfold. This is the way of things eternal. Our wellness is CoEternal with God. We bless all those caught up in fear. We bless and love them free. For this is God's divine decree. We forgive those who promote fear and darkness. We know that they will come back home, their fear burned away on compassion's throne. We are empowered by everything. I, the great we, allow, receive, and eternally send forth the formless and formed reality of infinite safety for all. We are safe, we are abundant, we are filled with love and compassion. We realize that all of the wonderfulness and blessings and goodness of life are our own by extension. We are joined in the feeling frequency of all great realities and blessings. We are jump-started by the infinite multiplication of wonderfulness. I, the great we, am heir to the mansion of absoluteness. We know that where we give our emotional attention is what we breathe life into. Let not our attention be molested and hijacked by fear, worry, and unconscious media frenzies. Divine Creator, bless the dark media, for they know not what they do. Sweet source of life, guide our attention to focus upon health, wholeness, goodness, abundance, safety, patience, forgiveness, love, compassion, creative expression, a world of wholeness, and all good things. We are empowered by everything. I, the great we, see what is needed, that our prayer will be heeded. We see it as though we've already succeeded. We have faith in advance, and good is left not up to chance. We invoke the spirit of fire and purge the enemy of our desire. We make the wise decision to maximize our vision. We are empowered by everything. I received that download maybe a week ago or something like that. I lose track of time, and some of you may be experiencing that. It's hard to tell from one day to the next what day is which. It's almost like when we've been on a plane and we're a little bit jet lagged. Our biological clock is running in a different way. Sometimes like the other day it was Saturday. I said, my God, it doesn't feel like Saturday. And I'm sure that you have your own version of that. But anyway, several days ago, I woke up. And as I wake up in the bed, I'm laying there, and that download that I just read to you began to come through. I took out my phone and I took the note. I went to the notes, and I also put on the voice command, and I spoke the whole thing right into the phone, laying in the bed right there. And then did the editing afterwards. So it's a great download, and I invite as many of you as feel moved to work with that. It is so powerful. So some of the things that we can do to be in the mastery of this now moment is, one, we can recognize the amazing power of the now moment, because this now moment is the microcosmic container of the macrocosmic, all that is relative to the whole of eternity. The whole of eternity is contained within each moment. To be in the mastery of the now moment is to know that the now moment is eternity in a flash. It's an echo of eternity. To be in the mastery of this now moment is to know that the solution to every problem exists right here and right now. We don't have to invoke it. We don't have to coerce it into being. We simply allow it. We allow, receive, manifest, and live. But we allow first. See, the allowing, when, if someone knocks on your door, the allowing is in your decision to open the door and let them in. They're coming in as you're receiving them. And then whatever transpires in your exchange is that manifestation. And it becomes an expression of life. We allow, receive, manifest, and live the solution. We allow, receive, manifest, and live the wholeness of our being. We allow, receive, manifest, and live our invincibility, invulnerability, and invisibility to being harmed by anything, virus, negativity, or otherwise. We are that powerful. The debilitation comes in when we begin to walk in separation, when we feel like we're separate from other parts of life. See, to be in the mastery of the now moment is to know that we are a qualitative microcosmic extension of the macrocosmic all that is. You see, we are the microcosm of God, the microcosm of the selfhood of God. You see, and God is the macrocosm of our own selfhood. Two facets of one great expression of self. One being universal and the other being individualized. So we master the now moment by recognizing that we're not alone. See, part of the reason why we're experiencing this sacred soul retreat, that some call quarantine, but I call it a sacred soul retreat. And we're playing hide and tweak, sacredly hiding away within our home space while tweaking the mind, tweaking the way that we see things, tweaking the way that we behave, tweaking the way that we interact with each other. There are some magnitudinous changes at work right now. You see, we are in mastery of the now moment when we realize the way in which this aloneness, this all oneness is serving us. keeping sacred company with ourselves, not having access to all of the material and outward accoutrements that we've been so accustomed to for so many years. We don't have it right now. But that's a good thing, because what we do have is this opportunity to dance with the divinity within our soul, to know that we're having a rendezvous with God in the inner sanctum of me. You're having a rendezvous with God in the inner sanctum of you. You see, to be in mastery of the now moment is to know that all of the trials and tribulations that exist in the world right now, this virus crisis, oh my goddess, beloved, that's a co-creation of all of ours. We've all had a hand in the creation of what's on our plate right now. Now, for some, that's really hard to own. Some would say, oh my God, there's no way that I call something as terrible as this into being. But in the exaltation of our spirit, we call forth very challenging experiences that will be the qualitative trigger of our coming into the greater measure of empowerment that we can come into. We're in the mastery of the now moment when we recognize that there is no virus that is bigger than us. You see, this virus is one, but we are legion. This virus, days is numbered, but we are eternal. That's the main difference between us and this virus. And this virus will not have victory over not one of us. See, we're in the mastery of the now moment when we understand that even those who have laid down their body and crossed over back into the spirit world as a result of this virus were not defeated by the virus. The virus was simply the catalyst for them to journey across the threshold to the other side of consciousness, which is another amazing adventure of life that just doesn't require a body, where one moves in the nebulousness and the formlessness of spirit. You see, no matter how many bodies may be laid down, the body is not who we are. The body is a vehicle that we ride around in to navigate in the physical domain. See, we are in the mastery of the now moment when we know that. See, some of us feel, oh my God, we lost so many beloveds to this virus. We did not lose one beloved to the virus. And the virus is not master over not one of us, but always servant unto every one of us. Because the life force that we are, that gift of the fire of spirit, which is breath. See, breath is God hiding in plain sight inside of us. And that is never lost. The breath may free itself from the body, but then the breath dances in the domain of spirit. So we're in the mastery of the now moment when we know that not one of us is ever lost to this virus or any other expression of negativity. We want to put it in its proper perspective. We don't need to be afraid of anything. Yes, we're human. Yes, we may feel moments of fear, but we can get beyond that. One of the ways in which we can get beyond fear is by breath. We're in the mastery of the now moment when we remember to bring big breath into the body. Every deep breath is a prayer for life. Every deep breath lengthens the lifespan. Every deep breath is a means by which we are ingesting more of God, because God is the reality, or the breath is the reality of God hiding in plain sight inside of us. When we breathe deep and full, then we are ingesting a greater magnitude of the God resonance that is our selfhood and the selfhood of everyone else. When we are in shallow breathing, we are unconsciously in a death wish, because in shallow breathing, there is an unwillingness to bring in the full magnitude of the essence of God's self that we all are. We experience the movement of God through the movement of our breath. Every deep breath has the capacity to raise us up and beyond fear. See, you notice sometimes when you when you succumb to fear, you begin to pant and breathe in a very shallow way. You see, so we must learn to breathe into the difficult situations that we experience. When you have that deep, elongated breath, then you're piercing to the center of that difficult situation where only light and love and benevolence and self-empowerment dwells. We are in the mastery of the now moment when we remember breath. We're in the mastery of the now moment when we choose our choice. So you see, this experience, this worldwide initiation called virus, COVID-19, is not something that was inflicted upon us. We co-created this experience through which to learn and grow. Mostly not at the conscious level. A lot of creations are at the unconscious level, and yet we are just as responsible for unconscious creations as we are responsible for the conscious creations. And so we want to be in the remembrance of that. So let's choose our choice. See, when I choose my choice and I recognize that if I didn't have the need, that person, that thing couldn't do the dirty deed. See, over and above something out there hurting me, everything out there that engages with my life is really working for me, because I require a certain lesson associated with that interaction with whatever that is. See, if in fact I need the lesson, the pain that causes becomes my blessing. The real truth is, it works for me. So what shall be its salary? To ensure that it serves me best, or that they serve me best, I'll pay it the wages of forgiveness. So let's look for the advantage within the adversity. We're in the mastery of the now moment when we recognize that this virus is servant unto us and not master over us. And that collectively, at some level of being, we have chosen this experience through which to learn and grow. When we recognize that we have chosen, which is to choose our choice. See, to choose our choice is to be in the ownership of the fact that we've chosen something. And we don't always choose pleasant experiences. Sometimes we choose horrific experiences, but it's still our choice. There is a power and empowerment in choosing our choice, and that is that if we recognize that we've chosen this, then we're also in the power of being able to choose differently. You see, we're in the mastery of the now moment when we know that we can open and have a divine transfusion, a transfusion of divinity. See, how would God respond to this situation? How is God responding to this situation? God is my mentor. God is absolute, my hero. Is God upset about this? No. Let me follow the example of my Creator. Stand in the resonance of my empowerment. Even if we experience a mass exodus of beings from the planet, and there's been different times in history when great numbers of beings will leave the planet all at the same time. And that's not a bad thing. It's certainly not preferred. It's certainly not our favorite when we walk around in these human bodies, but there's always a divine reasoning behind everything. So even if, it comes to, or let me say, whatever number of souls exit the planet from the virus, it is because that's a part of the divine plan. And it is because those souls have another assignment with another adventure on the other side of consciousness that doesn't require them being in a body. See, we have to, we're in the mastery of the now moment when we're not so enamored by the body that we feel that it's everything. It's a wonderful thing, but it's not everything. You see, and the body is meant to be subject to the spirit. And the primary difference between the body and the spirit is that spirit is eternal and the body's days are numbered. I mean, we've all known that at some point in this lifetime, we lay the body down and we cross over. That's standard issue. We see it happening every single day of our lives. And there is a divine rhyme and reasoning in that, and we have to learn to see that so that we can demystify death and recognize that it is simply the entry into another version of life. And then we can let go of the fear and the terror. We don't need to be afraid. You see, and the power to uplift. We must remember that we have the power to uplift. Oftentimes we talk about, you've heard this, you've heard the saying that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And that has some truth in the mundane realm with an actual chain, okay? But in the realm of spirit, a chain is strong as its strongest link in the chain of life. You see, otherwise we'd have to say if in the cosmic scheme of things, a chain was only as strong as its weakest link, then heaven would become debilitated as a result of the weakness of earth. And we know that isn't so. So we're in the mastery of the now moment when we are willing to open up and recognize ourselves as a very strong link in the chain of life. Because each of us is the individualization of divinity itself. And when we're in that realization, we then allow the divine transfusion, allow ourselves to be transfused, just like a blood transfusion. This is a spirit transfusion, where we re-accept. It's already been given, but in the human experience, we go into forgetfulness. And so we have to re-accept the transfusion of spirit and recognize that we are the individualization of divinity absolute. Oh my God, everything is really wonderful. We're in the mastery of the now moment when we don't get caught up in denominationalism. Okay, so this is not a time on the planet when it's wise for this religion or this faith to be warring against any others, because the fact that we are having a worldwide initiation simultaneously, the commonality is no matter what persuasion one is, spiritually, religiously, or otherwise, everyone who is really in any kind of genuine alignment is prayerful about bringing about the solution of this. There is a oneness of wholeness of prayer that is taking place right now. Oh my God, it's the oneness of wholeness of prayer. I'm going to give you something else that you can work with, something that I call Iyaweya, which is a portal through eternity. In the Iyaweya, you go, so you inhale the Iya, you exhale the Weya. The Iya means from the beginningless beginning, and the Weya means into the endless end. So that's something that you can use that clears energy very quickly and very powerfully. And spinning the chakras. You see me do this with the wands, but you can do it with your hands. So let's say you're spinning your crown and you count, I am the ascended master. I am the ascended master. Then you come to the brow. I am the ascended master. I am the ascended master. Throat. I am the ascended master. 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 So what you're doing, you're going to do with all 7 chakras: crown of the head, the brow, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, just below the navel, which is the sacral, and the root at the base of the spine and in the pubic area. So what you're doing is you're creating balance, because any problems that you have in any department of your life is going to be associated with some blockage that exists within one of those 7 chakras. You see, so when you balance all 7, then you are addressing any and all difficulties that might exist in the whole of your life. So that's a really powerful technique. that you can work with. Some of you all saw or may have heard earlier, I did I'm about to shift this musical thing here because we're going to work with the DNA ascension a little bit. I have from my album DNA Ascension, and pardon me while I look over here, I got to get my ducks in a row. Okay, my music, shifting to a different album, and let us scroll down. Thank you for your patience, beloved. We're having fun. We're becoming empowered together. Okay, so here, and then DNA Ascension 2. Okay, got that. Okay, so in a moment, we're going to bring about some frequency, and then you can just meditate with me and, be of the high resonance with me. So in DNA Ascension 2, what I did is I took 15 Reiki symbols and expressed them in a chant. So which Reiki is a very powerful healing art, and these 15 symbols are from the Usui Reiki system as well as the Karuna Reiki system. So we've got from Usui we have Chokure, Seiheki, Hanshaze Shonin, and Daikomyo. From the Karuna system we have Zonar, Helu, Hearth, Rama, Nosa, Kriya, Iava, Shanti, Tibetan Daikomyo, Tibetan Fire Serpent, and Om, all together making up 15 symbols. And what I've done is I've merged them in a seamless way, and the way that they're chanted, so you got, with the Chokure, you got and then for the Hanshaze Shonin, you got 100 and on and 100 and on and 100 and on and 100 and on, like that. And then you got Hearth, that gonna be on fire, serpent, home, that gonna be on fire, serpent. And then you got Zona, Halo, Rama, Kriya, Zona, Halo, Rama, Kriya. And then you got Nosa, Jandi, Ava, Jandi, Nosa, Jandi, Ava, Jandi. And then when we put them all together, this is what we get. So you can tune in with me. I'm gonna just do this for a little bit, just to send out some wonderful energy of clearing. Okay, here we go. Start them up. So that was a frequency that can be very helpful. Again, it was 15 Reiki symbols. Zonar, Helu, Hearth, Rama, Nosa, Kriya, Iyava, Shanti, Tibetan Daikomyo, Tibetan Fire Serpent, and Om from the Karuna Reiki system, and Chokure, Seiki, Hanshaze Shonin, and Daikomyo from the Usui system. So I'm going to just kind of let that play in the background for a little bit, offering some healing frequencies. And I also used it in a couple of my videos that I just recently uploaded. So, you can tap into it in that way as well. So I love you so much, beloveds, and I'm just so grateful that we are allowing ourselves to come into a greater resonance of connection, because that's one of the things that have definitely happened in this crisis that we're dealing with, is that there's a great bonding that is occurring, and we're even utilizing technology to a greater extent, through all of our Zooming and our Facebook videos and Instagram videos and YouTube videos and all of that. So we are truly, I love you too, sweetheart, we are truly becoming empowered by this situation, and we will get to the other side of it even more wonderful. So I'd like to take some time to, first I want to ask a question. All of those who can feel a sense of personal empowerment that has happened inside of you, that has been the direct result of the virus crisis that we're dealing with. Anybody that feels personally multiplied, up-leveled, and even stronger, just put in there yes if that's the case for you. Let's see how many people are having that experience, that feel even more empowered, because I'm sure I'm not the only one. Oh my God, I feel so multiplied in power, and not so much in spite of what we're going through, but rather because of what we're going through. So it's a wonderful thing, and just know that as you're feeling, look at all those yeses coming in. Oh, thank you, beloveds. I am so sacredly proud of you. Oh my God, it's wonderful. And I believe in you. I believe in me. I believe in us. I appreciate love you. I appreciate love me. And I appreciate love God, Goddess Absolute. So all of those that are saying yes, so that means that at a cellular level, at the level of your soul, you have an understanding that this experience was meant to be a multiplication of spirit for you. You're definitely meant to be multiplied in spirit. One other thing I want to mention is that I'm giving my whole album, Spirit Rap, Spicy version, for free. When you go to my website, astarius.com, you can click on the link and get that album for free. And of course, I have 22 albums total, and I'm very grateful if you see something that you want to purchase. But because that album, Spirit Rap, is so connected with, the solution to what we're addressing, I wanted to just give that, and make that available in that way. Another thing, I am offering 2 for 1 for all of my hour sessions. So when you partake of an hour session, it's going to be for about a couple of weeks. I'll do this. So if you want to have a session with me, it's 2 for 1. So you buy a 1 hour session and you got another hour free, which you can use for yourself. Or if you're feeling generous, you can give that hour to a beloved of yours. So that's a couple of my commercials. And also the other thing is I will be starting to do some Zooming. So we're going to do some real concentrated classes, for people that really want to go real deep. And initially, the Zoom auditorium will be full at 100 people. So I really want, those that feel the greatest passion to go deep and experience the greatest multiplication of spirit to participate in that. And there's some other equipment that I need to get to make sure that when I do the Zoom, that my didgeridoo and my vocal harmonics will come through very clear. And also, before I go into my vocal harmonics, let me just pause this. Before I go into the questions, I want to offer a couple of vocal harmonics and, really feel the resonance of that part of you that is Astarius Miraculi, and feel the essence of these energies up-leveling within your vibration. Oh, and I guess it just wouldn't be quite right if I didn't at least give a sacred quickie of the didgeridoo. Hold on a minute. I love you so much. Okay, I have to get my didgeridoo hit. I'm in love with that instrument. It has captured my heart. Okay, now we can do some questions. Yeah, we got a little time left before Instagram kicks us. I know they time out at about an hour. But if it's going really hot, then I'll start another live if necessary. Okay. Somebody says, I want a Reiki attunement when I get my job. It would be an honor to initiate you into Reiki, beloved. So give me some questions. Give me something that I can respond to. You're welcome and infinitely worthy. I love you all so much, and I'm so happy that we are the many-facetedness of the one great being. You know, it's such a wonderful thing that that's the truth of who we are. You know, the many, many facets of the one great being. I'm so grateful that that's our reality. So, any questions, beloveds? I know somebody got some, did I answer them all? Oh my God, I did an amazing job if I answered all the questions before they were even asked. Okay, somebody has something here. What would you suggest for deeper, more profound dream work? Well, one thing is to start to experience a more profound experience at the dream level is to allow yourself to offer gratitude even for the dreams that you don't remember. See, the greater truth is that we're always experiencing the dream state. And certainly one of the most profound experiences that we can have in the dream domain is the experience of lucid dreams. You see, where we wake up in the dream, the body is still asleep, but we are totally awake in consciousness of the fact that we are dreaming. And what's so beautiful about the lucid state of dreaming is that we're just about as close as we can get to ascended consciousness. Let me turn this down a second. Hold on. Okay, wonderful. We want it, but we want it softer. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, so when you're in the lucid dream state, you can solve problems that exist within the waking state. And then the other thing, that you can do to deepen your experience with the dream work is to say, oh my God, I am so grateful for all of those extensions of me, all of the beloveds out there that have pristine mastery in the realm of the dream world. See, so you own the mastery of other beloveds, and then that creates a multiplication of your own mastery. You see, like creating the soul jumpstart. You jumpstart yourself individually with the mastery that you're witnessing and celebrating, like one car jumpstarts another when the battery's gone down. Okay, so somebody says, I have some blockages right now. It's hard for me to allow myself to love and open up. I know now I just have to do it, but do you have any tips? Okay, so when you don't open up in love, I'm going to give you a graphic image. It's not the most pleasant image, but it might help jumpstart you into where you want to be. Okay, imagine what it would be to draw back and punch a 1-year-old in the face. I know you wouldn't want to do that, and I don't think any of us hardly would want to do such a thing. When you withhold love from you, from another, in the greatest truth, you're withholding that love from the inner child. The baby reality of self, which is the little elder within all of us. And then the other thing about loving, love is not something that you do. You don't do love. Love does you. So love is not something that you do, but rather something that you allow, because the resonance of love is co-eternal with God. So love is never not going on. The only thing that is not going on is attention focused upon it. And that's where the problem can come in at. Let's see here. So I just encourage you to let love love you, and just say, love, have your way with me. And it really, as simple as it sounds, it's profoundly powerful, because it's a concept that I was taught from within my own soul, and I practice it, and it works like a charm. You just give yourself over into the resonance of love. It's like stepping into the stream of love and just letting it carry you. And then also making sure that you're in full celebration for whatever measure of love you have been able to connect with, because it's not like you're not connected at all. There is, even if it's that tiny, then you get your magnifying glass out and maximize the minimum, because when you maximize the minimum becomes the maximum. Let's see, what do we got here? I set the intention to remember dreams before bed, and it works. Okay, somebody's giving us some insight. Yeah, and it does. When we set that intention to remember before we go to sleep, yeah, there's definitely that comes in. Okay, keep a journal. And Pluto, the planet Pluto is really powerful for dream work, because Pluto, it represents the sacred void, or the womb of creation, wherein lies the knowledge of everything that is, was, or ever will be. So being in appreciation of the sacred void, just like there's the womb of creation, there's also the womb of our soul that is linked to the Akashic records, therefore is connected to the knowledge of everything that is, was, or ever will be. It's all there. Okay. Okay, and you're so welcome. It's an honor to do this work. I love you so much. Okay. Okay, I am preparing to cut my locks after 7 years. Something is telling me it's time, along with this major shift. What sort of experience do you think I can expect? Well, I've cut my locks 3 times. I'm 3 times dread. In fact, I released my 3rd set of locks just about maybe a couple of months ago or so. And, what I personally experienced, and it was interesting because I was in meditation. I was laying on my healing table doing a Reiki meditation session on myself. And right from within that session, God said, when you get off this table, you go in there and cut the locks off. And it was as clear as a 2x4 of clarity over my head. And I did. And as I cut them, the minute I cut all the hair off, my head just got to tingling in the most delicious and wonderful way, which was the affirmation of me, doing the appropriate thing. The other thing is that, information can be accumulated within the hair. And sometimes when we're at a juncture in life where there's a great deal that we are needing to let go of, then we let go of the hair because the hair is recorded with certain things that may no longer be serving. So I would say you can expect liberation. Also, when I cut my locks the first time, it was 13 years I was dread, and then I cut them. I saved those locks, and then I went another 6 years and I cut those locks. So that was a combined 19 years. And then when I cut them, I was living at that time in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I went up on Mount Tamalpais by a stream of water, dug a hole, and I planted my locks in the earth, with crystals and sages, and I did a ceremonial offering of my locks into the earth. And so that was really profoundly powerful. My last set of locks that I just recently cut, I was prompted to set them on fire after I cut them. And so I set them on fire and let them burn down to where they were nothing but ashes. And then I took the ashes into Oak Creek here in Sedona, and I released the ashes into the water and, just let them, go down, with the stream there. So I think you can expect something profound. The main thing is just make sure that that's what you're really ready to do. And if you are, you can expect empowerment. I set the intention to draw my soul fragments back in. Yes, we do have soul fragments out there sometimes, and we can call, it's like an energy retrieval or soul retrieval and calling everything back. Okay, tips on responding to the lockdown in our communities that may last months to come. Okay, so I don't call it, at one point I was saying we were on sacred lockdown, and now I call it we're on sacred soul retreat. So one thing that you could do, to be in the mastery of the now moment is don't call it lockdown, even though that might be the common terminology for it. Pick your own terminology. What would you like for that to mean for you? And so the whole purpose of spending this very concentrated amount of time in our homes is that we're meant to come into a deeper resonant relationship with self. That's what this experience is really allowing for us. And so if we really heighten our appreciation for this wonderful opportunity to have a deeper rendezvous with the God within ourselves, then we won't feel the pain of what seems to be missing. We won't be in a state of, we don't have to long, for connection out there, because we belong to all connection, and all connection belongs to us. So we have to maximize the minimum, have a maximum appreciation for what is only minimally available. And when we maximize the minimum becomes the maximum. Just like seeing the glass as half full rather than half empty. If you see it as half full, it's in the potential of filling and increasing. If you see it as half empty, it's in the potential of emptying. Somebody says, I'm 3 times dread too. Yeah, so we're in the same club. Okay. Thank you so much for your content. You're welcome, beloved. I love you so much. I'm just scrolling here to see what I can see. Well, I guess we really need, okay, so we'll say thank you so much for the message. My crown is vibrating as I received that from you. I am in the Bay Area and will share my experience Okay, thank you. You're so welcome, beloved. And I love the Bay Area. That's one of my most favorite places. I lived there twice. And much love to all of my Bay Area beloveds. So, oh my God, I guess we've had a really oh my God, goddess. We've had a wonderful experience. And so, thank you for remembering who you are. Thank you for loving yourself. Thank you for coming home to your absoluteness. Thank you for looking for the advantage within all of the so-called adversities. Thank you for knowing that this virus is meant to be servant unto your expansion and not master over you or any one of us. Thank you for remembering the spirit of joy and the spirit of bliss, because bliss and joy are choices that we make. Bliss and joy doesn't just haphazardly happen, or peace. We choose bliss, we choose joy, we choose peace, and we simply allow them to have their way with us, because bliss, joy, and peace, those things are co-eternal with God. Oh, life is so beautiful, so amazingly wonderful.